Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. It is 7:30-ish on Monday, and I want to welcome you guys to this live stream. I decided to jump on here and go live and show you guys what showed up today. This is a brown box of comics that arrived a short while ago from my man Comic Jabroni. Comic Jabroni hooked me up big time, and I'm going to tell you guys all about this story in just a couple of moments. And then we are going to open up this brown paper bag box and see what goodness he has sent over to me. So I definitely want to welcome you guys to this live stream. A lot of people are flowing in here in the room. So while they do, I just want to give a reminder that this is the book that we are actually giving away this week. This is the Go Collect giveaway for this week. It is House of Mystery 195. This is a Bernie Wrightson 8.5 white pages comic. He drew the cover and also the interior pages. This is basically a preview. This is a preview, if you will, or a prototype of the Swamp Thing prototype that was actually released. This is the week's book that we are giving away as part of the sponsorship by Go Collect. So if you're interested in winning that book, definitely stay tuned to the videos that are coming out from the channel over the course of the week. In one of those videos that comes out, there will be a message, a phrase that you need to capture in order to actually enter this week's giveaway. And we are like on week 32 of this giveaway. So a huge shout out to Go Collect for being an awesome sponsor that has kind of stuck with us through the last 32 weeks that we've been doing these awesome giveaways. So let me say some hellos to some comic book swojas that have joined me here in the room. Kyler is the first name that I see. Kyler, it is good to see you. He says, I'm all alone here. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm here. I got you. So Kyler, it's good to see you, my man. Matthew is in the house. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Scrolling down through the names. Cuz Buzz is in the house. Punish Comics is here. Oh, here we go. Comic Jabroni, my man who hooked me up with this brown box right next to me. Comic Jabroni is in the house. If you guys are not following him, I definitely want to encourage you guys to do so. Chris Barrett is here. Sith Lord is here. Nicholas is in the house. The Killer Mastermind is in the house. James T is here. Another Chris is here. It's good to see you. Christopher Bauer is here. Aaron Finkelstein, my man, is in the house. My good friend Tina is in the house. Tina, it is always good to see you. Omega Comics is here. Bayou Boy Entertainment is in the house. Downright Nerdy Podcast is here. Ben Yeruda, I think that's how you say that. It is all good, brother. Catch me on the rewind and drop one of those G's, and you are in the house, my friend. Scrolling down through the names, Alex is in the house. It's good to see you. Collectible Zeke is here. Angel is here. Connecting Comics is in the house. Gotham City Comics is here as well. It is good to see all of you guys. I want to thank you for hanging out with me on a Monday, and this is definitely an impromptu show. Comic Jabroni sent me a message and was like, bro, if you decide to go live and unbox this, please give me a heads up so I can join. So here's the thing. Comic Jabroni is in my opinion, the epitome of the comic book community. He is the epitome of what you look for in someone that is a member of this comic book community. This dude sent me a message, and his message was basically like, bro, a friend of mine that I know is selling or getting rid of some comics from his collection. He's like, I just went through a long box of his comics. I don't know what you need, but I know that you were on the hunt for Amazing Spider-Man. Send me a list of what you have and I'll make some magic happen. That was essentially the gist of Comic Jabroni's message to me maybe 2 weeks ago or something like that. I think that was like when the message came through. And some days went by. He's like, I talked to my man. He has the books that are on your list, all of them with the exception of like this book or this section of books and this section of books. Other than that, he's got it. He named a price. Before he had even finished typing the message, I was like, sold. I'll take them all. And so Comic Jabroni, he made magic happen. He went back and forth with the guy. He went over, he picked up the books by hand. He put them in the mail. He sent them to me and they arrived today. So again, you know, when you talk about the comic book community, in my opinion, you are talking about people that look out for one another, right? And he had no reason to reach out to me to offer me this connect other than wanting to be a good member of the comic book community. And to that, I applaud him. I salute him for hooking me up. I really do. I didn't even ask to see what the books look like. I was like, I trust you. I take your word. I sent the cash, and then I just let it all go. And he hooked it up, man. So Comic Jabroni, Edwin, I want to say thank you, brother. I absolutely appreciate you hooking me up with this brown bag box of goodness that showed up. It is a pretty heavy box. So we're going to crack this thing open and we are going to see inside. So Chris Barrett says if there was anything other than slabs, he would have won by now. Chris Barrett has been on quite the run. This dude cleans up whenever I do trivia night. I think he won at least one time in every trivia night that we've done, and we've done like 5 or 6 of them. So Chris Barrett, I salute you, brother. He has definitely cleaned up on some things. He has not won a slab yet, but he can definitely clean up some raw books from my channel. So it's good to hopefully, brother, that your luck will actually turn around. So I'm scrolling down through the comments here. Perry Comics is in the house. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Downright Nerdy Podcast definitely agrees with me. He says, couldn't be truer words. Jabroni is an awesome dude. Yes, indeed, he is. He hooks me up with a brown box of goodness over here. So Kyler's like, what's in the box? He's like, be quiet. Just tell me what's in the box. Scrolling down through the comments here, seeing what else. Which one of your kids did you give away? Brother, my kids are so feisty, I think anybody would return them. Maybe not the boy. People might keep the boy. The girl is a little feisty. They return her. I tell you, she is a feisty little girl. So scrolling down through Bearded Comic Collectors, like, just open the box. I am getting to it in the best Macho Man voice. Oh, yeah. All right. So let me continue opening this box up here and see what's inside. All right, there's some packing stuff in here. Oh man, there's some good stuff here. They actually sent the list. I sent Comic Jabroni a long list of books that I needed, and they went through the list and kind of checked everything off. But there is some awesome goodness in here right on top. I just see it right on top. Pull the stack out. This is what showed up. This is what showed up, right? So I am on the hunt, as you guys know, for completing a run of Amazing Spider-Man. And I have a healthy number of the books. The 1 through 261, I have a healthy number of those books already. But there are some books that are higher number that I'm actually missing from the collection. So that's part of what's actually in here. Mr. Comic 89, how you doing, brother? Angel's asking if I have any auctions. I don't do auctions, brother. I don't do any kind of auctions on the channel. I do, however, have, oh man, I got like 3 of those. But I do, however, actually have a couple of books for sale right now on Instagram. So if you check out the story, my story on Instagram, there's a couple of books up there right now. So here we go. First book that I see here is one that I have several copies of already, but you can't really have too many copies of the Iron Spider suit. This is Amazing Spider-Man 529. Definitely a dope book right there. Absolutely love this cover, and I have several copies of it, but again, you can't have too many of that one. So here, oh, that's actually a cool cover. That's a cool cover. This is Amazing Spider-Man 528. This is one that I do not have. What I've realized is that there's a lot of books in like the 4s and 5s that I was actually missing. And so Comic Jabroni kind of came through with that one. Wow. This is 527. Definitely a cool book right there. Here is 526, and it looks like they rebagged and boarded all these books, which is really nice. That saves me a lot of time and also a couple of bucks. Here is 525, Amazing Spider-Man. All of these books are going towards helping me to complete my run of Amazing Spider-Man, which you guys know that I'm working on. Here is 524, and you honestly cannot beat picking up a large lot of Spider-Man books. 522 right there. It is actually a really nice way to go. I have a couple of copies of this one already. I think a subscriber actually sent me one of these. This is 521. I definitely dig that cover right there. Here is 520. These are all books that are needed for my run of Amazing Spider-Man. Here is 519. That's a cool one right there. Spider-Man looking kind of yoked right there. Here is 512. I've not seen that cover before. Is that Agent Venom? No, that is not Agent Venom. I'm not quite sure who that is. That's cool. Here is 509. Sins Past, Part 1 is what that says. Here is 508. Cool book right there. What is this one? Here is 506, and this is a long haul of just straight up amazing Spider-Man 505. A lot of people have been asking me to record a video once I'm finished with my run of all the books. We'll just count this one towards that. This is 504. Cool cover right there. Looks like Loki. Little Loki action going on right there. Did not know that Loki ever appeared in ASM. Here is 499 right there. This is cool. Here is 496. Yeah, Tina's like great covers. Yes, these are. And these are ones I have not seen before, to be honest with you. Here is 495. That's a cool one. Little Mary Jane back there on the sign. Ooh, J. Scott Campbell. Little J. Scott Campbell. This has got a little corner ding on it. We may have to replace this one for a modern. We may have to replace this. But in the interim, little Mary J. Watson action going on right there. That is not bad. That is not bad right there. This is 493. Here is 486. And a lot of these are actually in pretty nice shape, to be honest with you, which again is great, especially for modern books. People often ask me what's my scale for books, and honestly, this is 485. The newer the book, the better the shape that the book actually happens to be in. Older books, I definitely have some latitude for. Here is 478, and these are, you'll see here, there is the legacy number. Hopefully, you guys can see that. There is the legacy number, and then there is the new number, right? So this one is actually 37, but the legacy number is 478. You know, there's a lot of wonky stuff going on with Amazing Spider-Man over the days. This one's a little worn as well. This is 36, but that's fine because I think I actually have another copy of that already. Black cover is notoriously hard. This is number 35, but also legacy number 476. And again, these are all books that are going towards helping me to complete my run. Here is 475. It's a cool one right there. Oh! Comic book down. Comic book down. Thankfully, the backing board saved me. Thankfully, the backing board saved me on that one. That was critical. Here is 474. That's an interesting cover. That's a J. Scott Campbell, actually. That's J. Wow. Did not expect that. Here is, which number is this? 473. Cool cover. Scrolling down. So here is 472. We're getting towards the end here. Here is 439. What will be the fate of Mary Jane Watson? There we go. Spider-Man has been through a lot. Here is 437. These are all books that are going towards helping complete the run. 435 right there. What's this an unboxing of? ASM, man. ASM all day. Here is 290. 290 right there. Here is 286. Don't think I'm missing too many books from the 200s. And then the very last book that is in this run is not a bad book at all. Not a bad book at all. It is 46. I think this is the first appearance of the Shocker. This is the main book that I actually needed. This is one of the very last books that I actually needed for my run between 1 and 261. It was this one right here. If you guys watched the video, I picked up issue 101 recently. 46 was already en route. And then the very last book that I need to complete my run from 1 through 261 is issue number 3. One of the more expensive books. Gotta track that one down. Just a Rican and his comics. Rod, it is good to see you, my friend. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for stopping by. I definitely appreciate it. So that is basically the run of books. It is a huge stack of comics that, again, that I needed. I have a bunch of boxes off my side here that are all reserved for Amazing Spider-Man. And so I have a lot of the low number Amazing Spider-Man in the bins behind me, in the plastic BCW bins. And then off to the side here, I have basically 4 boxes that are basically all reserved, all 4 short boxes reserved for Amazing Spider-Man. So everything that is here, with the exception of this one right here, is actually about to get dropped into a bin off to my side. And again, we are making more progress against completing the full run of Amazing Spider-Man, that being 1 through 801. We are making a ton of progress. So what is this? The race is on, Reggie. I'm going to get ASM 3 first. You just might get it, my man. You just might get it, my friend. I am looking at that book every day. I'll tell you, Mr. Comics has an awesome collection of Amazing Spider-Man. But I look at that book every day, my friend, and I'm going back and forth over what grade I want to get and all that kind of stuff. But sooner or later, Amazing Spider-Man 3 will be mine, and I will have completed that run. I have a bunch of books inbound from CGC right now. I actually have 2 boxes that will be coming here tomorrow from CGC. A couple of those books are probably going to be sold. There's a couple of them that are going to stay in the collection, but I'll probably do some unboxings this week. And then if I do indeed move some of those books off to another home, those funds, if you watch my video earlier today, those funds will be going towards Amazing Spider-Man number 3. So fingers crossed that we can make some magic happen in the next couple of days, because Amazing Spider-Man number 3 just might be on its way, and I might just be able to beat Mr. Comic 89 before he snacks one before me. Alex is saying, today my first slabs arrived. Thanks for your inspiration and videos. Pics on Instagram, old school comics with an X. Alex, congratulations, brother, on your first submission. Hopefully, fingers crossed, you got some good grades there. So huge shout out to you, my man, for making that jump into getting some books graded. So thank you very much, brother. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you, Tina. Omega's like, hot run. I mean, the thing is that these are some awesome books, again, that go a long way towards helping me to complete my run. And for me, you know, with some of these books in the 4s and 5s and 6, it's much easier to pick these books up in large lots versus individual books. And so if I have an opportunity to pick up large lots, it saves me a whole lot of time hunting down individual books. And even if I go back and have to upgrade a book or 2 here or there, it's totally worth it, because trying to track them down one at a time, it's a monster. And that's why, if you remember, a couple of months ago, I did that video. I picked up 250 Amazing Spider-Man. It was super easy to take 250 books and basically just drop entire sections right into my run and then get rid of the other things. It worked out quite nicely for me. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. So Bearded Comics is asking if I have Amazing Spider-Man annual number 1. I basically have every annual from basically 1 through about 32, if memory serves. So from that run of annuals, these were the books that I was actually missing, and I've actually tracked down every single one of those books. So I have all of those, and as you can see here, I can now scratch off, where is it, 46? I can now scratch 46 off the list, and I basically completed that run, except for issue number 3 of Amazing Spider-Man regular. So yeah, I've been really fortunate that there was like a huge dry spell, Bearded Comic Collector, with the annuals where I was unable to find them. And then all of a sudden I was able to find a couple of places that had a healthy chunk of them. So I was able to close that out. And I'm super pumped about that. So definitely pleased about being able to close out the annuals and be really close to closing out the regular, at least 1 through 261 as well. So Tony Trombetta is in the house. How you doing, brother? Sammy says the only ASM that he has is 340. I think you've got to get busy there, Sammy. You have 800 additional fantastic Amazing Spider-Man books to get. That way you can have a full run of 1 through 801. Now that you have 340, 800 other comics to snag. Omega Comics says he's trying to get issue 200 through 300 of Spawn. There is really something fantastic, I think, happening with Spawn. A lot of people, like, all of a sudden are like really excited about Spawn. So many people are working on the full run or partial runs of Spawn. I think it's fantastic. I think it's fantastic what they have been able to do with that title. I think now they've hit 301. I think it's wonderful. Movie coming out the whole 9 yards. People are super passionate about. I got another guy named Simmons, so I'm definitely on board with that. Scrolling down through some of the comments. He's asking if I've watched any of the Tom Spider-Man movies. I saw Tom Holland in Avengers Endgame. I have not watched any of the other movies because I don't go to the movies, so I haven't seen anything else other than his appearances in like the Avengers movies. And so I don't really have an opinion, to be honest with you, on any of that stuff. Hopefully sooner or later I'll be able to see it, but I have not been able to watch that stuff. So scrolling down, Angel says he just completed 1 through 77 of Spawn. Congrats on that. Oh, man, come on, bro. Don't do that. No. Don't preempt my video coming out later this week. Stay tuned. Don't ruin my video, bro. Scrolling through some of the comments here. I am a little behind. James is saying, I'm excited for you to complete the run, but it's also sad at the same time. We have all been unsure. I know, right? It is crazy. We have, I mean, here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I have made a tremendous amount of progress on this Amazing Spider-Man run because of, my ability to focus on a goal. But there are so many other people out there that have contributed to this run, with people either sending me books or contributing to the channel and things like that. Comic Jabroni hooking me up with this huge stack of books that have put me in a position to be able to complete this run. And it has been a journey. It really has been. I am actually announcing later this week a run that I'm working on. It's only a couple of books, so it's not like a major thing, to be honest with you. And the books aren't even expensive, but I'm probably going to work on that. And then then once I kind of wrap up things with ASM, at least for issue number 3, I'm going to be working on some of the issues in the background, the higher numbers, the 4s, the 5s, the 6s, 7s, all that kind of stuff, working on those in the background. But then I think I'm going to turn my attention to some X-Men books. There's a lot of X-Men low number that I want to get, and definitely some of the Chris Claremont run. So I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm going to focus on just yet, but I will be turning my attention to some X-Men stuff. So Downright Nerdy podcast. So awesome, Reggie. And same with Comic Jabroni. Really nice of you. Love this community. Well said, my friend. Well said. So I just got here. Sounds like we're talking. Great. So IMJ, I basically picked up from my man, or I should say through Comic Jabroni. He hooked me up with a seller that was selling some awesome, amazing Spider-Man comics. I was able to get some books, a couple in the 200s, a lot in the 400s, and most in the 500s, and then also a lower number Amazing Spider-Man ASM 46 that I was able to pick up all through my man Comic Jabroni. So again, if you guys are not following him, I definitely want to encourage you guys to do that. He definitely hooked it up. Tina's like, shout out Comic Jabroni for hooking Regie up. Bro, here's the thing, man. I didn't even pause at the price. As soon as you named the number, I was like, done. Where can I send my money? And the thing is, you cannot complain about a fair price. And I didn't even honestly bother to do the numbers or the math on it, but the numbers really aren't that bad. When you look at how many books and what the price was plus shipping, it was a fair price and you cannot complain. One of the books is a little, corner dinged. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Overall, I could not be more pleased with this transaction. And I definitely appreciate your support, brother. Give a shout out to your man when you talk to him. Tell him I said thank you. I don't even know what the dude's name is, but tell him I said thank you because I definitely appreciate it. So scrolling through, Matthew's like, I'm trying to complete ASM 60 through 69. He has a couple of them, but he's missing a few. So good luck to you, brother, on being able to complete that portion of your run. Here is what is this? Comics for Thomas says, I have a box with 4 CGC comics I submitted sitting at the post office right now, grabbing them tomorrow. Fingers crossed, my man. Fingers crossed that you have some good grades on those books. As I mentioned, I actually have I have 2 boxes inbound from CGC right now. I have another that was basically towards the end of the grading process, and then for some reason or another slipped back into received. So I think that CGC is definitely having some database issues going on right now, but fingers crossed that these books will be making their way to me. So I have one inbound order right now of 17 books. 17 books inbound to me in one box, and then I have another box of 3 books, and all 3 of those books that are in this one order are all the same. They are all the same book, and if you watch one of my previous videos where I talked about books that I was submitting, I think I showed some of those books. So those books are all coming back to me right now. One of them will be going on the wall right there. And the book that I'm pointing at right now will be moving its way to someone else soon as this other one makes its way to my wall here. So let me scroll down to the comments here. Bearded comic collector. Thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate that. What is this? Hey, I have a comic book where the Dallas Cowboys meet Spider-Man. Can I send one your way? I don't even know of that book. There's only one, I think it's called Superstar. It's a comic where a guy's wearing some shoulder pads on the front of it, and I think it was a 90s book. I think that's one book that I'm aware of. And then there was a football crossover with Spider-Man, and I can't remember which issue it was. It was a silly like throwaway issue, but I don't know about the Dallas Cowboys comic. But yeah, send me an email, bro. Send me an email or an instant message. If it's on Instagram, it's Regie Collects. I can provide you my information there, or you can send me an email to regiecollects@gmail.com, REGIE. And yeah, if you can hook me up with that, I definitely welcome it, my friend. Scrolling down through the comments here, Matt Forge is asking what grade my ASM is. ASM 1, it is raw. It is a raw, amazing Spider-Man #1. I'm guessing that book is probably a 2. It might be a 2. It's been to the point of one of my previous videos. It's one of those books that I don't just flip through it casually. It's been in Mylar probably for like a year now, but my guess is that it is probably a 2, maybe a 2.5 on a good day. So at some point that book, once I complete this and once I get issue #3, at some point in the not too distant future, a healthy portion of my low number Amazing Spider-Man books will actually be making their way to CGC to be graded. Yes, I think that is a true statement. Matthew, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Scrolling through 3 books from finishing his volume of Green Lantern. Whoa, that's awesome. That is awesome. Congratulations. He says, Connecting Comics says 3 books away from finishing his volume of Green Lantern. Not as exciting as ASM or Spawn. Good stuff still. No, definitely good stuff, man. I think the thing is that if anyone has a favorite character, right, and has invested enough time, energy, and effort into putting together a run, it almost doesn't matter what the run is. I think that should definitely be celebrated because it's clear that you are a fan. It's clear that you are passionate about this hobby. If you are literally going to get every comic in a run, you know what I'm saying? I think the only difference is I may have spent more money, but that's not necessarily something to celebrate because again, if you dig Green Lantern, dude, I think it's fantastic. I really do think it's fantastic. So Matthew's like, I got my Gibbon gang issue recently. Now what? You send me a photo of it on Instagram and I give you a shout out as being a member of the Gibbon gang. And then you sit back and you wait for Martin Blank, aka the Gibbon, to appear in the MCU and you sell that. No, I'm joking. I'm totally joking. He's not going to be in the MCU. Completely joking. But congratulations, brother. Congratulations. Downright Nerdy podcast says, I love Spawn ever since I was a kid. He has a good majority of 1 through 150, and then between 151 and 300 is kind of hit or miss. All good, brother. Tina, there you go. Gibbon Gang welcomes you. That's what's up. Somebody posted up earlier today. They got the Spanish version of the Gibbon Gang and was like, should I start my own thing? And I'm like, no, because we speak Spanish over here. So welcome to the Gibbon Gang. I actually just did it in Spanish, but you know, it's anyway. Scrolling down to the comments here. So yeah, so here's the thing is I stop at 8:01, right? I'm stopping at 8:01. I mean, I'm still working on the other issues, but I'm basically stopping at 8:01 because that was basically the end of Dan Slott's run, was 8:01. So that's basically where I'm calling good is good enough as it relates. And to that point though, however, is the most recent version or volume of Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. I'm actually buying those as well. So I have multiple copies of 1 through 30, and 30 just came out. So I'm also collecting those as well. But I kind of separate those two things in my mind. I have the goal of 1 through 8:01, and then everything else is already taken care of. So I don't have to really worry about those. So Steve Rogers, Captain America, how you doing? He says, thank you for sharing how I get the hobby to pay for itself. That I think that was an interesting video, man. And I was looking at the stats earlier today, and I think people definitely seem to enjoy that video. And you know, a lot of times you create this content and you never quite know, you know, how it's going to resonate with people, if it's going to resonate. There are a lot of videos that I put out where I think it's going to be a big video, and then it's not. And then there's ones I put out and it's kind of like, eh. And then there's some that actually do resonate. And so right now we are probably at 569 views or something like that on that video, which is not bad for me after being up for, you know, 4 hours or so. So I'm definitely pleased with the performance of that. My hope is that over time people, you know, continue to see some value in that video and actually continue to watch it. So but thank you for taking the time to actually check it out, my man. So scrolling down, so here's the thing. B Comics says I'm missing out. 313 Detroit says I'm missing out on some great Spider-Man movies. No, for me, it's not about a lack of desire. It is more about the fact that I have young kids, and literally, my son has only been to one movie. And well, no, he's been to two movies. His mother took him one, and I took him to one, and this was probably 2 months ago. So it's not that long. So I have really young kids. I don't go to the movies with myself. If I have a choice of spending time with my family or going to the movies, I choose to spend time with them. So at some point, I will see these movies because I am a Spider-Man fan. So I will watch them, but it's just been one of those things of prioritization, right? Of I have to focus where I need to focus. And right now it hasn't been going to the movies. So I definitely will watch them. I've heard nothing but good things about the various movies, and I definitely will catch them. So Sith Lord is correct about that. Scrolling down through the comments here. Scrolling down, a couple of people collecting Spawn here. X-Men, Christopher is like, get the X-Men. I am definitely going to do it. I'm going to do it. Here's a question here about balancing. So actually maybe I'll do a video on this. I don't know. Matthew is asking a question about how I balance the hobby with the rest of real life. To some degree or another, I prioritize life over the hobby. Just like when I was doing bodybuilding, for me, it was more about I allow that hobby, like this hobby, to fill in the gaps around the other things that are important in my life, right? So my wife is upstairs putting our two kids to bed, but before they went upstairs, you know, I was responsible for brushing their teeth and cleaning up the toy room, right? So I clean up the toy room, I wash the dishes, I go live. She's upstairs doing her thing, I'm in here doing this, and we have an agreement that I will meet her on the sofa for husband and wife time in a little while. So I'll go in there and spend time with her. But I allow the hobby to kind of fill in the blanks, you know, where the family is doing other things, I come in here and do my thing, right? So at nighttime when the family goes to sleep, I read a couple of comics and then I go to sleep. So that's how I kind of manage it. I do a lot of recording of my videos at night. When they're asleep, I'm recording videos, I'm editing videos, I'm trying to get ahead. And I try to stay ahead of the curve so that I'm not really in the moment trying to crank out 5 videos for the course of the week in like a day. That's pretty tough. And then, you know, during the week, honestly, I just try to edit some videos if I can at night. I try to record some videos at night. But then outside of that, it's focused on work, but it is tough. But I am one of those people that I find a rhythm with things and I try to stay in that rhythm, and I do better when I'm busy. That's just how I operate. So scrolling down through the comments here, a lot of people are like, I struggle to watch all of your videos, and I'm not sure how you make so many when I'm struggling to watch the videos. But as a content creator, that is the case. So Tony Chimbret is asking the question if I will ever do a run on a DC title. I have Hush. That's a run. I have Hush. Yeah, so probably not. Probably not. Yeah, probably not. I probably will never do a run of DC. I like DC. There are DC characters like Batman that I dig, and I have healthy portions of like Todd McFarlane's run on Batman. I dig Jim Lee's run with Hush. I dig. So I have those portions of the run, but the thing is to do a full run is a big commitment. And you really, really have to be invested in that character to do something like that. And for me, honestly, I love the X-Men, but I'm not even sure if I'll do a full run of the X-Men. To be honest with you, I'll do a partial run of certain things that I dig with the X-Men. But when it comes to Spider-Man, that is literally my favorite character of all time, going back to my childhood. And that probably is the only character that I make that kind of commitment to do like 1 through 801. Now, if a run is like 20 books, 30 books, okay, but 801 books, that's a major commitment. Major commitment. Oh, Christopher. I will give you an A-OK, my friend, if you show up with a full run of Strawberry Shortcake. I will send you an A-OK if you show me that. Scrolling down through the comments, seeing what else you guys are talking about here. Man, IMJ brother. I mean, honestly, and somebody said this, and I can't remember who was talking about the fact that we the collective, we have been on this journey for Amazing Spider-Man, and it's one of those things where it's bittersweet. I mean, it's not over. Let's be honest. There is still more work to be done, but a lot of the heavy lifting is done because I'm really only working on Amazing Spider-Man 3 at this point. But this has really been. There have been a lot of people that have contributed to what I'm trying to do here. People that have sold me books basically below FMV, at FMV, giving me books, people that have helped work deals for me to be able to get these books. This is not just Reggie completing this run. There's a lot of people that are even in this chat that have actually contributed to what I'm doing right here. And to all of those people, I say thank you for contributing, because it's a Herculean effort to put together this many books, and we are making magic happen. We really are. And I am very appreciative. Robert Santiago is in the house. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Scrolling down. Oh, his name is Alan. There you go. My buddy Alan. I'll have him watch this video if you upload it this video is going live, right? This is going to be uploaded probably 20 minutes after I wrap this thing up. It takes time to kind of buffer and all that other kind of stuff. So tell Alan I said thank you. Alan, if you're watching this right now, brother, I want to say thank you for all of these books that you hooked me up with. This goes a long way towards helping me to complete my run of Amazing Spider-Man. And to that, I say thank you. All right, so let me scroll down through the comments here. Scrolling down through the comments, sending 9.85 your way. That's what's up, Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers, Captain America is giving you positive vibes of a 9.8. Downright Nerdy Podcast. Thank you, brother, for stopping by. Definitely appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Scrolling down through the comments here. Comic Jabroni has dipped on me. Thank you, brother. Definitely appreciate that. And if you guys do get a chance, definitely check him out. He's putting out some good content. Definitely a good guy. Comic Jabroni hooked me up. Edwin is his name. If you guys get a chance, check him out for sure. James Cox, how you doing, my friend? We are basically just showing a stack of books that Comic Jabroni kind of hooked me up with. You might have to catch it on a replay, brother, because it is a lot of books and we are not going to run back through it. But what I will do is show you this book right here. This is one of the major books that was in the stack. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 46. This is a book that has been on the list for quite some time, and we are finally able to check it off the list. So there's a ton of other stuff, couple of Spider-Man in the 200s and the 400s and the 500s. It's a healthy stack, probably of, I don't know, 35 books maybe. So if you get a chance, check it out on replay. So I'm going to scroll back down to the bottom here because I missed a whole lot of comments here. Scrolling up through the comments here. Oh, well, Bearded Comic Collector says, I have to admit it, but my main collection is Archie, followed by ASM and Superman. There are a lot of people that actually love Archie, and I see no problem with it. It is not my thing, but I see no problem with it because it takes all kinds of people to make this hobby work. You know what I'm saying? So if Archie and Superman is your thing, brother, more power to you. More power to you. So, favorite Spider-Man supporting character. I mean, you know, from a villain standpoint, I don't know if that's a supporting character, but from a villain standpoint, I prefer some of the more classic characters, like your Vulture, your Doc Ock, the Gibbon, of course, right? But like the Vulture, Doc Ock, I dig Molten Man. You know, it's a lot of those classic characters that he had to deal with that I really dig. From a supporting character standpoint, probably like Gwen Stacy. I always dug Gwen Stacy. I thought Betty Brant was a little whiny for me, but I always dug Gwen Stacy. I think that's about it. If you want to look at supporting characters, she'd probably be the one that I go with. Farnsworth was really cool too. Mr. Big, I definitely dug Farnsworth, Mr. Big. So scrolling through the comments here, seeing what you guys are talking about. So collecting Zeke, how you doing? Collectible Zeke, he says, hey, Reggie, I'm new to comic book world. Love your videos and they're full of good info. I'm currently going after all of Carnage. Good luck, brother. And stay tuned because if you're talking about Carnage, we are actually going to be doing this giveaway at some point this week. This is a book. I actually have two of them. There is the main one and the reprint. This is the first full appearance of Carnage, issue 361. We are going to be giving away both of these books, first prize, second prize, as part of the 5,000 subscriber giveaway. Comic shop in Stockton, California, Grapevine hooked me up with those. Those books are going to be given away. The video is dropping this week, so stay tuned for that. But Zeke, I'm glad that you found the channel. And I tell the people all the time, man, that this channel is really set up for those individuals that are new to comics and those that are newly returning to comics, as well as seasoned veterans. And so the goal is to constantly put out content that resonates with those three groups. And I think I do an okay job of it. I get a lot of messages from people that are new to the hobby like yourself, Zeke. And I also get a lot of messages from individuals that are coming back into the hobby. And I think that, again, I'm putting out some good content that resonates with people, which at the end of the day makes me really happy because it's a lot of content that I put out. So it's good that it's actually connecting with folks and that folks are, you know, watching the content and enjoying it. So, I've been hitting X-Men hard for a couple of years and still feel like I have years to go. Those early issues are getting expensive. Yes, they are. Yes, they are, Christopher. And again, you know, for me, when it comes to the X-Men, a lot of those early issues aren't, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to dissuade you from anything. A lot of those early appearances are rough. Like the writing is rough, you know, like if I had to pick between Giant Size X-Men and X-Men 1, I would go with Giant Size X-Men because I think that that's a much better, well-written comic. You know what I'm saying? And so when I think about low number X-Men, there are only a handful that I'm really interested in, like 1, maybe 3, 4, 12, right? Those are some of the bigger issues for me when you're talking about the low number X-Men books, because a lot of them I didn't really enjoy them, but I am still an X-Men fan, but I think I'm more of a Chris Claremont X-Men fan than a Stan Lee X-Men fan, but yeah, I think just like everything else in this hobby, man, books are getting more and more expensive. There is no doubt about it. So, yeah, you're making some sacrifices now, but, the alternative is to wait and to pay even more money, right? Because most things are going up. And so it's tough. I definitely get where you're coming from, brother. And if you haven't watched my video that I released earlier today, you may want to take a look at that, because maybe there's some things in there that can actually help you. So scrolling up through the comments here, scrolling through the comments here. Oh, Tina, you're a nut. You are a nut. Giant size all day for sure. No doubt. I am a big fan of Giant Size. I mean, that is probably one of my favorite books, to be honest with you. Early X-Men are always going to be expensive, though, because there are many early appearances. And that same way with Spider-Man, those early appearances of ASM, super expensive and not getting any cheaper. The further out you go, because there are so many, early first appearances, second appearances of classic characters in ASM. And you could say the same thing about some of the X-Men books as well. So, you traded my book. Aaron Finkelstein says he traded the Hero for Hire book that he won from me for something else. What'd you trade it for? Because that book was dope, bro. I actually read that book like 2 weeks ago. It was really good. He traded it for, I'm guessing, X-Men 266 9.4. No, I did not get those. Not yet. Kyler is asking about the Gibbon shirts. No, I will definitely make an announcement when the shirts come in. They have not yet arrived. It has only been literally, as of today, 1 week since the order was placed. And so I'm trying to give, out of respect, trying to give the shop owner a little bit of time to kind of work through, her workload before I start hounding her. So fingers crossed that I will either hear from her in the next day or so, or when I reach out to her, like on Wednesday, that she will have some of this stuff ready. So, man, so here's a question here. What do you think is the tougher key only builds, early X-Men or Fantastic Four? Fantastic Four. I would say Fantastic Four is probably harder. You can probably, and I know this question wasn't directed at me, but I'm going to answer it. You can actually find even your low grade Fantastic Four number ones are super expensive. Then you have to deal with, of course, 48, 49, sometimes 50, depending upon. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Fantastic Four, I mean, even your low grade Fantastic Four number one is, last time I looked, like 12 grand. So I feel like that's going to be the hardest one. Who is this? Christopher saying X-Men 94 is a cooler book than No, actually, I agree. I don't agree, but I could see how you could say that. I think Giant Size X-Men is a great book. I think X-Men 94 is a fantastic book. Chris Claremont is just a super, super talented guy. So I could see how you would say that. I definitely get that. So scrolling through the comments here. All right, I think I'm actually going to wrap this thing up. It's getting closer and closer to the time for my wife and I to meet up. IMJ says, first Watcher, first Galactus, Silver Surfer, most cosmic characters, Fantastic Four for sure. Thank you for that message, Sea of Comics. I definitely appreciate that. So yeah, there's a couple of people here that agree that Fantastic Four is probably a heavier lift. Yeah, more than a couple of people as I scroll through the comments here. I mean, I think it's a great question. I mean, I had to pause and think about it, but I think FF is a heavy lift, man. I really do think that it's a heavy lift. And I was looking at a couple of books. I was looking at Amazing Spider-Man 1. I was looking at X-Men 1. I was looking at FF 1. back in the early part of 18, and I prioritized X-Men 1, ASM 1 over FF1. And by the time I was ready to buy FF1, the prices were like crazy high, and I had to let it go. And it was around this time that I was actually reading Fantastic Four from issue number 1 and realized how good of an issue FF1 actually was. And it was like, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do about that. Kyler, thank you for stopping by, brother. I definitely appreciate that. Sith Lord, thank you for stopping by. Definitely appreciate you guys hanging out with me for a little bit. Yeah, Alex is like FF1. It is insane, man. It is. He says FF1 is why we are all here. Well said. Well said. But it was the Spider-Man that kept us here. Just throwing it out there. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this thing up. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me for just a little bit this week or today. I would say if you have not watched the replay of the Ready, Set, Go preview show, I definitely want to encourage you to do that. This is the first time that the giveaway book has not been claimed within hours of that show, and the book is literally still sitting here. It has not been claimed. The winner has until Sunday to actually claim this book before it goes to the second place. We literally have not been in this position since I think the second time I did a giveaway where it actually went to the second place person because the first place never claimed it. So if you have not watched that, you want to go back and watch it just in case you are indeed the winner. And if you are the winner, make sure you send me an email to regiecollects@gmail.com so that you can actually claim your prize. This is the book that is actually being given away this week. One more time. This is House of Mystery 195. This is a Bernie Wrightson Swamp Thing prototype. This is the book that is being given away as part of the Go Collect giveaway. And then we are also going to be doing our 5,000 subscriber giveaway this week as well. So you definitely want to stay tuned to the videos that are coming out from the channel because there are 2 giveaways that are basically happening this week. You do not want to miss these giveaways because these are pretty cool books, right? So we're giving away that House of Mystery book, and then we're also giving away the first full appearance of Carnage 361, first prize and second prize being the first print and the second print. So definitely stay tuned for those videos. If you guys need to reach out to me, Sith Lords, I claim it. I thought you left, bro. If you guys need to reach me, feel free to reach out to me at Regie Collects on Instagram and regiecollects@gmail.com. I am not too hard to find if you guys need me. Take care.